You were never afraid to do what was necessary, even when it was inconvenient, even if that meant that you had to operate outside of who you naturally are, operate outside of your femininity. If you had to tap into masculinity, like literally this picture that I have here really embodies what I'm saying. Like you could be very much in tune with who you are, your softness, your femininity, but at times it may require you to step outside of that and step into your masculinity, meaning literally having to take out garbage, having to do things that require labor. And this type of energy that you exude from being able to overcome, being able to do what was necessary to survive at the time has pushed you into the position of now thriving. You have tapped into quantum thinking. And let me get a little bit into why quantum thinking is so important. And I'm going to list a few steps, five actually, to develop quantum thinking in the society that has been inverse. Because it's time to shift from just surviving to really thriving. It is important to understand that you have the kingdom of God within, and you tap into that when you actually move out of comfort zones. You move into a space of doing what is needed, not just what is like convenient for you. Sometimes things are not going to go your way. And that's why when you anchor yourself into a higher frequency on a daily basis, was just the first point. And that is by starting your day with mindfulness, starting your day with doing things that feed into positivity for yourself, whether that is affirmations, whether that is making sure you hydrate, making sure you take time to meditate and pray. These things will help you move into actually having the type of life that you want. I want to also give this declaration. You can just listen or repeat after me because this is important to speak life over yourself. Let's begin. I dwell in the secret place of the Most High. My timeline is sacred, is peaceful, and I'm divinely protected. Now, the goal is to understand that you can make your inner state the source of your reality and not necessarily your reactions should reflect what's happening outside of you. Like, yeah, it may feel like it is not fair that you may have to do things that you don't think that you should have to do, but it has to get done. And when you tap into being able to override your ego and just do what is necessary, then you can actually quantum think, which will make your reality not only more tolerable, but actually something you enjoy, something you don't want to escape. The second point I want to make is you see multiple realities at once. Now, when it comes to quantum thinking, the future is not fixed. This is an infinite field of possibilities. So when you are faced with a problem, and this is why it's important to get back into utilizing your imagination, those survival mechanisms that we had as children are the very things that we really need to take heed to, that we need to accept and begin to embrace. Being able to imagine, greatness happening for you. You may not even comprehend like how it's going to happen, but that's getting in God's way. Allow yourself to be a dreamer, allow yourself to be a believer, because what's the worst that could happen? So if you believe in amazing things happening for you, either it could happen or it don't. So you're not losing anything on quantum thinking. Instead of thinking, the worst case scenarios. Instead, try to reframe your mind with what is the highest reality that God has prepared for me here. Think about how amazing that is. Like you could have anything literally under under divine like under divine presence. Like, and I'm not saying you can have anything that is of a low nature, but if you're focusing on positive things, things that are righteous, the Most High has promised that you can have it. And when you hold the image in your heart and your mind Okay, these things begin to become the type of narrative that you want to adopt, that you want to really shift your life. Because truthfully, a lot of the things that we're having to come to terms with is that in order to shift into having the type of life you want that is really joyful, that's peaceful, that is heavenly, it's going to require you to eliminate maybe the old way in which you may have thought about things, the way you may have been conditioned to speak a certain way. It's not that you can't take greatness from things that you were taught, but the goal for each generation is to improve. And so this is an opportunity for you to refuse that mental hijacking, which is the third point. Because literally, this society is quite dystopian, meaning that it's run on scarcity programming, distractions, all of that. So this is a reminder to audit those inputs. So whenever you feel that you're consuming things that are about fear, about anxiety and division, realize that this is a mental trap to program you, to get you to be in alignment with the hive mind, the collective consciousness. Focus more so on replacing it with maybe Baroque music, and I'm going to touch on that in another video. Classical, jazz, music without words, music that has a higher frequency. Like when you focus more so on high vibrational things, then that is also what's going to be manifest in your life. Also, if you're used to saying negative mantras, which is not your fault, but it is when you allow it to continue. So replace that with positive affirmations. You may also utilize scriptures, but when you do this, you begin to expand your mind. Our minds have neuroplasticity. Your mind is like a rubber band. It can stretch. I'm under the I'm convinced. I'm not going to say assumption. I'm thoroughly convinced that as long as I'm alive, I'm going to forever be learning. Constantly being able to expand your mind and learn and to stretch your thoughts, even your beliefs, is going to help you to continue to grow and continue to thrive. Okay. And this is how you actually tap into this precious currency. And that currency is your healed energy, your healed heart. The fourth point I want to make is using the power that you have from the Most High God, Yah, Jesus Christ, to collapse your unwanted experiences. So when it comes to quantum physics, okay, we're going to get a little bit into metaphysics, okay? This shows that reality collapses not only by observation, but by your intentionality. So if you intend to have maybe even a healthy mindset, a healthy body, a healthy life, whatever, if you intend to have that, no matter what you're seeing in your current 3D reality, that can be shifted, that can change by you cultivating the type of mindset you want. This is also an aspect of law of attraction, law of assumption, which are also really biblically based. When you keep revisiting scenarios that may have been uncomfortable in your mind, which again, this is a work in progress, we all have done it. An aspect of doing that is to protect yourself. But when you begin to understand that if you can shift to thinking about more positive things that are of the desired reality that you want, you can redirect your energy. You can redirect your ability to become God aligned. And then your outcome is going to meet up with your reality. You don't have to literally fight and struggle and suffer. No, you can transcend all that by investing in a positive mindset and also keeping your heart clear, keeping your conscience clear. Okay, the softest pillow is one with a clear conscience. Don't worry about the things that happen from other people that are in this world that, they may be dealing with their own struggles. Do not take that and allow it to be the dominant mindset that you're focusing on. This is an opportunity for you to understand that you have the ability to move forward. The fifth and final point I want to make is act as if your higher reality is already here. And this is why it's so important to speak and move and create like you're already in answer prayers. Even if you are, for instance, you have a really nice dress or something that you want to wear at a resort or someplace special, wear it now. Envision yourself enjoying it now. Because the more you do so, you're going to begin to see that whatever it is that you're reaching for is going to become aligned and magnetized towards you. I don't care if you got to go take out the garbage, but do so dressing your best, looking your best, feeling your best. And in this society, okay, oftentimes we are conditioned to believe that, things never change and, just accept what's happening. But that is having a conquered mind. It's important to act from your higher frequency, even before it is visible. And this is going to pull you closer towards the reality that you want. Faith is not passive, y'all. It is an active construction of the unseen until it becomes seen. And that's definitely a biblical principle. So if you hold true to those 5 practices that I mentioned on a consistent basis, even if you got to walk it out, even if you got to, do things or responsibilities that may feel as if, maybe this is not fair, find the joy in it and allow yourself to understand that God is working through you. Your ability to not just survive, but to thrive. Okay. This shows that you are collapsing the systems that were put in place to keep you bound. You are beginning to escape a reality and you're moving into the reality that you want. You're rewriting what was set out for you. That is truly the essence of quantum thinking.